Hi everyone and welcome to another English with Joseph. Well, today we're going to talk about principal cities around the UK. There is life outside of London, and although London is the most famous of our cities, we do also have a number of other cities which are very famous for different reasons. First of all, let's discuss what the difference is between a city and a town. Well, in the UK, a city can only be a city if it has three things. 1. A cathedral. 2. A university. And 3. The Queen's permission. Without these three things, it's not possible for a city to be a city. It has to be a town. Now, the Queen can give her permission for a place to become a city without the other two things, but it's very unlikely. So therefore, some of the towns in the UK are the largest towns in Europe. There are other implications for a place to become a city, particularly within politics and how much money they receive from our governments. We have examples of towns which have tried to become cities for many years, but always fail. One example is Reading in Berkshire in the UK. Reading is a very, very large town, and it has the largest suburb in Europe, which is called Early. But despite trying, Reading does not have a cathedral, so therefore it keeps being turned down when it asks to become a city. Another reason maybe why it won't become a city is because one of our old queens, Queen Victoria, hated it. There is a very famous statue of Queen Victoria in Reading with her back facing the city and she's looking away from it. She described the city as brutal. It's a nice place. I like it. So perhaps historically that's another reason why it does not have city status. Another very large town is the town that I was born in. It's called Paisley, and it's in Scotland. Paisley is one of the largest towns in Europe. It's huge. It's bigger than many, many places. But size is not important when it comes to whether you are a city or whether you are a town. So Paisley Town is a town, and it describes itself as a city now because I think it's just bored of trying. Bored of trying to reach city status. And every so often they try again to put forward the idea that it could become a city, and then finally it's always rejected. So, why does a city have to have a cathedral and a university? Well, it's a very good question, and probably something from our history. The problem with Paisley is that it never actually had a university until very recently, when they converted one of the technical colleges and renamed it university. So it is a proper university, but it's not historic. Reading University is very, very old, but it simply doesn't have a cathedral. I'm not sure where the local cathedral is for that area, but it's certainly not in Reading. It doesn't have a Church of England cathedral, nor does it have a Catholic cathedral. A cathedral is the seat of the bishop inside the church, so you could say it's the head church for the area. So, without a university, a cathedra, that's a seat which sits inside a cathedral, well, you need a cathedral before you can have a cathedra, and the Queen's permission, then you cannot possibly become a city unless the Queen gives her permission. There's all kinds of political reasons why a town might want to become a city. To be a city in the UK carries quite a prestige, and it means that you'll have more money to invest in tourism and also in shopping. Well, I hope that tells you a little bit of the differences between towns and cities. It's not just about size, it is actually a term which is granted by our Queen. Of course, it's not at her discretion. I'm sure it's advised by our government because our Queen doesn't really have any power anymore. But still, she has symbolic power. She has to sign the paper, which agrees to it. Okay, well, that's all from me today. I hope you enjoy the very nice weather we have here in Barcelona today. Thank you, and goodbye.